Hi, third graders. We are getting ready to jump right into our next lesson today. We are continuing on with Module 3, which we are back into multiplying and dividing with equal groups, drawing pictures to represent our number sentences. We are on Lesson 3 today, and your problem set is going to look like this. So it looks pretty fun today, right? So Lesson 3 problem set. Can I tell you something? So I had already started recording this lesson one time, and I was all the way onto the back of the problem set. And this happened to me once before. It just all shut right down, and I lost my video. So that's okay. We'll do it again, right? So I should be extra good at it now. Okay, so that's why there's already some writing on our objective page. So our lesson objective today is that we can multiply and divide with familiar facts using a letter to represent the unknown. So, and our I can statement is I can multiply and divide to find the unknown. So the unknown just means that we don't know the answer. We're trying to figure out what the answer is, and we're going to use a letter, like it says right there, to represent the unknown. So this is kind of fun. You're going to be doing this all the way up through math, all through the grades, through high school, where you use a letter for the unknown. They actually, when you get older, they call it a variable. So that's kind of cool that we get to know that now, right, in third grade. So I just did a sample here where I said 2 times 5 equals R, and you're solving for R. So whatever way that you use to solve it, we know that we multiply by 2. I can double the other number. So I can say 5 plus 5 is 10. Or I can count by 2's 5 times. Will you do that with me real quick to warm up our math brains? Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we know our answer is 10. So since we're solving for the letter R to represent the unknown, and we just figured out that our answer is 10, we will write R equals 10. Easy peasy, right? So we're really just solving multiplication and division problems, and we're solving for a letter. And the fun thing about our lesson today is, one, it looks cool, but two, we are solving a riddle at the bottom. So we're solving all of these multiplication problems and these division problems. And once we get our answer, we're going to take our answer, find that answer down here, and give it a letter so we can solve for the riddle. So you'll know what I'm talking about as we go. I want you to at least try a couple with me, and then if you're feeling good, you can head off on your own for the front and then come back and check afterwards, okay? So if we look at the first cloud, we have 5 times 4 equals E, so we're solving for E. So however we solve it, we can count by 5s 4 times or count by 4s 5 times. I'm going to count by 5s because that's a nice, easy, friendly number to count by, right? And we're really good at counting by 5s. So I'm going to count by 5s 4 times. Will you count with me? Get those counting fingers ready. Here we go. 5, 10, 15, 20. So my answer there is 20. So we just fill in right here, E equals 20. And then for the riddle, I just come down below and I find a 20. Here's a 20 right here. And then I just write an E in the blank. Okay, and then check and see if there's another, yep, there's another 20 right here. For some of the letters, there is more than one there, so we need to make sure to check and see if there's more than one of our numbers there, okay? That's it. So let me try one more with you if you're ready to fly off on your own. Let's look at this last cloud on the left side of our page. So 8 equals A divided by 3. Sometimes when we have the answer up front, it gets a little bit confusing. So I'm going to kind of, if that is confusing to you, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to say A divided by 3 equals 8. So it might help you if you're fine with it. Then you don't need to worry about that. But if it's confusing, sometimes when that answer is at the beginning like that, we can just flop it around to stick our answer back at the end. So now I can see, okay, this is a division sentence, right? And when we divide, the total is always up front. So we're dividing, but to get that total up front, I'm going to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication, right? So we have the relationship. We know there's a relationship between multiplication and division. They're opposites, right? They're inverse. So I can take this 3 and the 8 and I'm going to multiply them. And that will give me that total there. So 3 times 8 equals 24. And I can check it if I count by threes 8 times. That should get me to 24. So let's just do that real quick. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. There we go, right? So that shows us that we were correct. So A equals 24. So again, when I'm dividing, I'm missing that first number in my division sentence, I can just take my answer and the number that I'm dividing by and just multiply them, okay? So A equals 24. So now I go below and I find a 24 and it's right there. And I'm going to stick an A. And you know what I forgot to do is I didn't even read the riddle. Did you read the riddle? Okay. So the riddle says, which tables do you not have to learn? That's what we're trying to fill in here. The answer to which tables do you not have to learn? Okay. So if you are ready to go off on your own, feel free. If you want to try a couple more with me, you can try a couple more with me and then head off on your own after. But I definitely want you to be working through some of this independently. Okay. All right, I'm going to do 24 divided by I equals 4 next. So check this with me. So I'm solving for I, okay? And I've got the total of 24. So I'm going to count by fours until I get to 24. Ready? So even if you already have it, you can practice counting with me, okay? Here we go. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So what do we get? 6, right? So I equals 6. So then I come down below and I have 6. So I'm going to put an I in there. Do I have any other 6s? So I'm good. I'm ready to move on. How'd you do? Good. So the next one says 32 equals S times 8. So I have my total of 32 and I'm solving for S. So I want to count by 8s until I get to 32. And if you are not fluent in counting by 8s yet, you can draw a picture if you need to. You can do some mental math. I'm going to start with my doubles and say, okay, 8 plus 8 equals 16. So I'm at 2 8s right now. And I'm going to put 16 in my head. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So now I'm at 24, and that was 3 8s. So I'm going to add on. So I've got 24, and I'm going to add 8 more. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So that's another 8, and that was 4 8s altogether. Okay, so what would S equal then? 4, right? S equals 4. Okay, that's just a strategy. You could draw a picture, you could draw an array or an equal groups picture, and see how many groups of 8s you can make until you get to 24. Or if you are good with your 8s, if you've been practicing your 8s, then you're good to go. Okay. So S equals 4, so I'm going to find my 4s down below and stick an S on there. Good, and that was the only one. So I'm moving on. 8 equals 80 divided by N, and we're solving for N. So another way I could look at this, and I can flip-flop this around if I want to. So 80 divided by N equals 8, okay? So I can do that if it helps to have that answer at the end instead of at the beginning. And I can say to myself, because I can do the opposite of division to help me solve this, right? So the opposite of division is multiplication. And I can ask myself, 8 times what equals 80? And 80 ends in a 0. So I can say, could I multiply by 5? It's going to be 5 or 10, right, to be able to get to an answer that's going to end in a 0. So let's try counting by 8s 5 times. Ready? So let's flip-flop that around. Let's count by 5s 8 times. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That doesn't get us there. And 40 is actually half of 80, right? So if I said count by 5s and that's half, what could we try counting by 10s? Let's try counting by 10s 8 times. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. There we go, right? So what did we count by? 10s. So N equals 10. So now I'm going to go below and find a 10, and I'm going to stick an N there. And that's the only one. Okay. 4 equals 36 divided by K. Okay. If you count it by fours, we can count by fours so we get to 36. Ready? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. So that would be 9. So K equals 9. Do we see how knowing those skip counting songs is so important to help us with our multiplication or division? Let me get this in here so I can, 9 is a K. And that's the only one there. Good. So knowing those songs can really help us out. And then we'll eventually get to the point where we just know it without even having to do the song or to think about it. And maybe you're already there. All right, moving on. So check it with me. So if you haven't been working on any of these on your own yet independently, please pause the video and work on your own for this side. And then you can come back and check after, okay? Okay, so the next one we have is 21 divided by 3 equals L. And this L is like a cursive L, because if we just write a plain old print L, what does that look like? A 1, right? So when we have the letter L as a variable, it's shown as a cursive L like that, so we can distinguish between a 1 and an L, lowercase l. So 21 divided by 3 equals L. I'm going to count by threes until I get to 21. Ready? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So what do we get? 7. So L equals 7. And I'm going to go below and find the 7. There it is. And that's going to be an L. I could do the cursive fancy L if I want to, right? Do you have any guesses about what that is yet? Or maybe you've already done. Okay. All right. So we look at the next one. 21 equals C times 3. This looks familiar to this one above, right? Because for this one, we said 21 divided by 3, and we got 7 as our answer. And here, I'm saying C times 7 equals 21. What's my answer there? 3, right? Because I'm in that fact family. So it is 21 equals 3 times 7. I'm using the same numbers. I can just flip-flop them around. So if I am paying attention to my fact families, that helped me without even having to do that counting, right? Good. And I didn't fill this in. So 3 equals C. Is there any other ones? Nope. All right. And then T divided by 10 equals 7. So I'm missing the first number and I'm dividing. And I know that when I divide, what number always comes first? The total. So to find the total here, I want to do the opposite of division, which is multiplication. You've got it. So I'm going to take that 10 and that 7 and I'm going to multiply them. We can count by 7s or we can count by 10s. I'm going to count by 10 7 times. Will you join me? Okay, here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. What do we get? 70. So T equals 70. Nice work. How'd you do? Good. So T equals 70. There we go, right there. Oh, here's another one. That's why we always have to check for more than one. We're almost there. Okay, let's see. B, we're solving for B. 24 divided by B equals 12. So 24 is my total. So I'm going to count by 12s until I get to 24, and that will give me my answer for B. Okay, so let's see, 12. What's 12 plus 12? 24. So what does B equal? 2. So there's my 2 right there. So I'm going to put a B. Oh, we found our last word. What's our last word? Tables. So what tables do you not have to learn? Some kind of tables. What is this word? All right, let's look. 35 equals 7 times H. Okay, so for this one, again, I know my total. So I can count by 7s until I get to 35. Ready? Let's do our Sergeant 7 song. Okay, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Stop. What do we get? 5. Good job, guys. So H equals 5. So there's my 5 and it equals H. Let's look at this. We solved our riddle. So kitchen tables. Which tables do you not have to learn? Kitchen tables. So when we learn our multiplication facts, those are called like your times tables, your multiplication tables or your times tables. So which tables do you not have to learn? The kitchen tables. Do you think it's funny? It's silly, right? A little bit silly. Okay. So good job. Was that fun? All right, good. Let's flip it over and look at the back. All right, on the back, you can go ahead and do this on your own if you want to. Just make sure that you are doing the RDWW process. And if you're working on your own for this, make sure that you are coming back and checking. If you want to stick with me for a minute, we can do the read together. But the one thing, don't pause it yet, anybody. The directions say to use the letter M to represent the total amount of money Lana spends and then solve. So we're using the letter M. So we're doing like we did on the front where we write our equation or our number sentence. We want to, instead of giving our answer, we want to use the letter M. Okay, so if you're working on your own, make sure you're doing that. And the same thing below, you're using the letter C in your equation. And then you're solving for C. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our read. Lana buys 3 t-shirts for $8 each. So 3 t-shirts, and there's $8 each. I'm already thinking of my picture. Okay, and I see a clue word. Do you see a clue word there? What'd you find? Each. Good. Okay, what is the total amount? There's another clue word, right? So you want to find the total. What is the total amount Lana spends on 3 t-shirts? Use the letter M to represent the total amount of money Lana spends, and then solve the problem. So when I was first reading this problem, I'm thinking, ooh, I want to make a tape diagram. But we all know that I'm obsessed with tape diagrams, and I should probably do something different, right? And maybe tape diagrams is not your jam. So another way that we could represent this problem would be to like make an equal groups picture, right? So if there's 3 t-shirts right away, that makes me think that there's 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. 3 groups. And there's 8 in each. If you feel comfortable counting by 8s, you can go ahead and stick the number 8 in each one. Maybe you're not there yet, so we can put 8 in each picture or in each equal group, right? I'm going to make 2 rows of 4 for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do a count by underneath. So I'm at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16. Remember, you can pause at any time, okay? So there's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And there we go. I have 3 groups and I put 8 in each one. Okay, so I did my read, I did my draw. The next thing I need to do is to write a number sentence. So I didn't know the total yet, right? I was trying to find the total. So that means that I'm gonna multiply. I have 3 groups times 8 in each group, and it equals, we found in our count file already, it equals 24. And it's money, right? So it equals $24. And even though when we say $24, we say dollars after the 24, the dollar sign goes in front of the 24. Okay, check that off. The last thing is to write our word sentence. So I go to my question. We want to find the total amount of money Lana spends. So Lana, with a capital N, Lana spends $24. Period. Good. Okay, if you had done that on your own or checking, how'd you do? Make sure we have all of the components of our RDWW, okay? All right, moving on. If Lana hands the cashier 3 $10 bills, how much change will she receive? Use the letter C and an equation to represent the change, then find the value of C. So this is part B that goes along with this. So she's spending $24. She hands the cashier 3 $10 bills. Okay, excuse that announcement. She hands the cashier 3 $10 bills. So how much money is that? 10, 20, 30. So she gives the cashier $30. How much change will she receive? So how much will she get back? What do I do? So she spends $24 and the cashier says, $24, please, ma'am. And Lana says, okay, here's $30. What do I do with the 30 and the 24? I'm going to subtract, right? To see how much money she gets back. So I'm going to do $30 minus $24 equals C. C equals. If you want to write that vertically, you can. You can use mental math. If you already just automatically know the answer, you can put 24 in your head and count up to 30. We can say 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that equals C. So C equals 6, and it's money because she's getting dollars back. So we didn't draw a picture because we used what was up there, but we can write a word sentence, right? Okay. So how much change will she receive? So she will receive $6. Period. Make sure it begins with a capital letter and a period at the end. And that's it. We did it. Okay. So our lesson today, we can multiply and divide to find the unknown. We definitely did that. I think it's always fun when we kind of use letters to fill in, to represent the unknown, use those variables there. And I think our riddle in the front was definitely kind of a fun little game for us today. Okay. Super job, boys and girls. And I will see you tomorrow for some more math.